This is the last of 4 videos showing drills that parents and teachers can use to help their children with the adding skill. The drills use adding problems giving answers larger than 20, and this video is therefore more suitable for children age 7 and older. The purpose of this drill is to help your child make the connection between the way we have been solving adding problems with bars and the way adding problems are solved in most K-6 schools. When we use the bars to solve the adding problem of 12 plus 13, for example, we write the problem down in numbers like this, horizontally. We then lay out the bars and group and replace to solve the problem. In school, however, the adding problem would usually be written vertically, like this, and this problem would then be solved without using the bars. Children are taught that the first digit in each of these numbers, the 2 ones, are in the tens column, and the second digits, the 2 and the 3, are in the ones column. This is sometimes referred to as the place value of the digits. The digit in the ones column shows how many ones the number has, and the digit in the tens column shows how many tens it has. The way this adding problem is then solved is first to add the numbers in the ones column and write the result below the line, and then to do the same with the numbers in the tens column. So here are some drills you can do to show your child these 2 different ways of solving the same adding problem. Here's the word problem for the first drill. How many days are there altogether in January and February? Ask your child to say the adding problem, which is 31 plus 28, and write this down horizontally. Now explain that in school, where teachers usually don't use bars, they write down this adding problem in a different way, and they figure out the answer in a different way. Write out the number problem vertically. Now point to the 3 in the number 31. Tell your child that this 3 tells how many orange bars the number has. And since each orange bar is 10, the 3 in the number 31 says that this number has 3 tens. Now tell your child that the 1 in the number 31 tells how many white cubes it has. And since the white cube is a 1, the 1 says that there is 1 1 in 31. Now do the same with the number 28, explaining that the 2 means it has 2 tens and the 8 means it has 8 ones. Now explain that the 2 numbers that come second in each of these numbers, the 1 and the 8, are in what we call the ones column, since they tell how many ones each number has. Then explain that the first number in each of these numbers, the 3 and the 2, are in the tens column because they tell how many tens each number has. Now tell your child to add the numbers in the ones column and write the answer below the line. Then tell your child to add the numbers in the tens column and write the answer below the line. Now, to help your child see a connection between this way of solving the adding problem and the way we solve it with the bars, lay out the bars to represent the problem, 31 plus 28. Next, remind your child that the blue bar, which is 9, is the same as 9 white cubes, and ask your child to replace the blue bar with 9 white cubes. Next, tell your child to look at the 2 groups of bars and explain that the white cubes are like the ones column and the oranges are like the tens column. Next, explain that when we add the 2 numbers in the ones column, the 1 and the 8, to make 9, this is like moving the white cube from the group of bars that make 31 and placing it end to end with the 8 whites in the group that makes 28. Ask your child to do this. Then explain that when we add the 2 numbers in the tens column, the 3 and the 2, to make 5, This is like taking the 3 orange bars in the group that makes 31 and joining them together with the 2 orange bars in the group that makes 28. Ask your child to do this. Practice this drill with other pairs of 2-digit numbers, using only pairs where the sum of the ones column is 9 or less. Once your child is comfortable with adding pairs where the sum of the ones is 9 or less, you can move on to the next drill, which is adding pairs where the sum of the ones is greater than 9. For example, 17 plus 19. To show your child how to solve this problem, you will first need to explain how carrying from the ones column to the tens column works. Here's a word problem for the adding problem 17 plus 19. Simon is swimming laps in a pool. It takes him 17 seconds to swim the first lap and 19 seconds to swim the second lap. How many seconds altogether did it take Simon to swim the 2 laps? Ask your child to say the adding problem and write it down vertically. Then lay out the problem using the bars. Now explain that the first step to solving the adding problem is to add the ones, which means adding the black to the dark blue. Put these 2 bars end to end. Now ask your child to replace these with an orange plus 1 other bar that makes the same length, and to say the number that results, which is 16. Write the number 16 down on the page, and remind your child that the 6 means that 16 has 6 ones, and the 1 means that it has 1 10. Next, remove the orange from the group making 16 and place it on top of the 2 other orange bars. As you do this, say, here I am taking the 1 10 in 16 and putting it in the tens column, and that leaves 6 ones behind in the ones column. Now return to the vertical adding problem and write 6 below the line, saying, I'm writing a 6 below the line in the ones column because 16 has 6 ones. Then write a 1 at the top of the tens column and say, I'm writing a 1 on top of the tens column because 16 has 1 10. Then say, to finish solving the problem, we now add the 3 numbers in the tens column and write the answer below the line. As a final drill, this could be the right time to introduce your child to the number 0, which we've been using whenever we wrote 10 or some multiple of 10, but we haven't yet explained that 0 is a number. Let's do this with the adding problem 35 plus 25. Write the problem down vertically and ask your child to add the ones column first. When she says 10, write the number down elsewhere on the page, point to the 0, and say, this number is called 0. It means none or not any. The number 10 has a 0 in the ones column, which means that 10 doesn't have any ones. The number 10 has a 1 in the tens column, which means that 10 has 1 10. Then ask your child to look again at the adding problem of 35 plus 25 and say, in this adding problem, when we add the 2 5s in the ones column, we get 0 ones, and so we write 0 below the line in that column. We also get 1 10 when we add the 2 5s, so we put a 1 at the top of the tens column. We finish by adding the numbers in the tens column, which gives 6, and we write 6 below the line in the tens column. To remind your child how similar this is to solving the problem with the bars, lay out the bars for 35 plus 25. Then, as you place the 2 yellows end to end, say, now we're adding the ones column. 5 plus 5 is 10, so we're going to replace the 2 yellows with an orange. Then say, now we're going to put the new orange above the others. Because an orange is a 10, this is like writing a 1 above the tens column. And finally, we're going to put all the oranges together, and this is like adding the numbers in the tens column. We end up with 6 oranges, which makes 60. This completes the series of drill videos for the adding skill.